Hi, everyone. I'm Sanjana. I'm an intern with JA, and I'm here with Michele Sakurka for a fireside chat. So, just to dive into things, Michele, please tell us about your educational and professional backgrounds and the path that you took to get to the position that you're in today.
Absolutely. First of all, it's a pleasure to join you today. So thanks for the opportunity to
Of
connect around the
course.
fire.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. So I'm an attorney by trade. I went to Rutgers undergrad and I went to Temple Law School. And I was in private practice for about 12 and a half years. Predominantly, I worked in the area of employee relations. And if you think about the time, so I'm now 56 years old. It was just about 1989 when I graduated from law school, and going into 1990s was the decade of employment law. All the world changed around employment law in the 1990s in the state of New Jersey, and it was a really pivotal time to be in that space for the opportunity to, get really engaged in employee relations. And so I wanted to be a lawyer since I was a young girl. My mom said she thinks it's just because I like to talk a lot and debate. I don't have any other lawyers in the family. I was the first to college, so that was a big deal in my family. But there was something that drew me to the law and the art of advocacy. My very favorite part of the practice of law was advocating on behalf of the interests of someone. And what's great about that is in my role today, that's what I do as a business advocate for the state of New Jersey, as the CEO of NJBIA, is I advocate on behalf of those who I have a passion for and those who I believe do great things in order to create and maintain jobs and boost our economy here in the state of New Jersey.
That's awesome. So just from that little, quick summary, it seems like you knew pretty early on that you wanted to practice the law in the future. So that kind of leads into my next question, which is in high school and or college, did you have any significant extracurricular experiences, such as like participating in clubs or organizations that truly helped you later on in your career?
Yeah, so I absolutely did, but also because of my economic situation, I had to work while I was in high school. And so, work certainly, and all through college, work certainly put a dent in my ability to have a lot of extracurricular time on top of studies. But I was in the band, so I played the flute and the piccolo and the marching band and concert band. Love music. It was great. It made me feel very well rounded and social. And I actually met my husband through that. We're high school sweethearts.
Wow.
So on a personal level, those extracurricular activities paid off very nicely.
Absolutely.
But I did also belong. I always believed in community service from a young age. I was I went through all the years of Girl Scouts. No, I didn't get my gold award because back then, and again, it was probably time, but it also wasn't. There wasn't a lot of attention. There wasn't the I don't want to say pressure, that's the wrong word, but the tension and visibility to why doing something like that would be important. Back then, Girl Scouts was about development and about community service. But I look at Girl Scouts today, because I'm very involved in Girl Scouts today still.
That's awesome.
As real hardcore leadership development. And when I was a little girl, it was more fun than leadership development, but I understand how it informed me in my way. And then I also belonged to the Key Club in high school, and that was service organization, which is like the young Kiwanis. And in my adult years, I went on to Rotary. So I was a Rotary member for a very long time. In fact, if anybody knows Rotary, I'm a Paul Harris Fellow. So that's someone who kind of lives the 4-part rule of Rotary and things like that. So
that's awesome. And I'm sure a lot of the students that are listening into this are probably part of like those leadership clubs, like you mentioned, Girl Scouts or maybe FBLA or something like that. So it's awesome to hear that truly helped you later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say then going on to college, in college, so I double majored in political science and German. I knew I wanted to go to law school, and I thought, back then, again, I didn't really have anybody guiding me. So it's like, oh, political science, that's what you do if you want to be a lawyer. My advice to anybody who wants to be a lawyer is go all critical thinking. So, I would absolutely say, English for writing and like philosophy or math to build your critical thinking. Political science was great for me because I like the policy side of things, obviously where I am today in my role. But, to really be, the skills for law school are all about good critical thinking and really good writing skills. And I feel that, you want to focus on that if you're looking to go to law school for sure. And I double majored because I kind of, had to take those credits anyway. And so German, my mother's German, and I was, I took German in high school, and I said, oh, let me just continue this. And so I double majored in German, and the shame of it is I don't use it. And so unfortunately, while I was in the honor society in college for German, and which was very exciting, it's tough for me to put a couple sentences together right now because I'm not immersed.
Yeah, wow. I actually never thought of, someone like who wants to become a lawyer having like or needing like that essential writing and all of
Yeah.
that you mentioned. So that's actually really interesting to hear. So just, moving along with the questions that I have here, another question that I personally really want to know is what led you to pursue the career that you have now? And were your aspirations for your career path different in high school and or college compared to how they actually unfolded?
Yeah. I am so far off my original career path, and I don't look back for a minute. Right. So again, I wanted to be an attorney from a young age. I love the practice of law. Absolutely love it. My first cat's name was jurisprudence, JP. Okay. And I believe in the law and good governance in my core and in my heart of hearts. I really do. I think that's what makes a democracy, and I take that all very seriously. My aspirations were to become a judge. I was going to college to go to law school, to become a lawyer, to become a judge. That's where I saw my trajectory. Along the way, I had some incredible opportunities present themselves to me. And every time I leaned into one of those opportunities, I never looked back. And so when people say to me, oh, do you miss the practice of law? I said, I don't miss it because I really enjoy what I do today. And I'll reemphasize that to me, the best part of being an attorney is being an advocate versus being a litigant. When you advocate, it's more about consensus building. And I love consensus building. I love the art of negotiation and bringing people around the table to problem solve. When you litigate, it means that you couldn't do that outside the doors of the courtroom, and you had to go before the judge to make a decision on your behalf, as opposed to own the outcome for yourself, right?
Right.
And so while I loved litigation, I love the courtroom, I love the practice of law, I get to use all those skills today to be, again, New Jersey's business advocate as the president and CEO of NJBIA. But I'll say one more thing on this, because I say to people all the time, this is all about relationship building, right? I left private practice because of a relationship that I built with who was then the CEO of AAA. And we served on the Chamber of Commerce together on the board, and we chaired a committee together. And he saw my work ethic. And as a result of that, he offered me the opportunity to be the HR employee relations executive at AAA, right?
Wow.
Who would ever thought, after that offer was made to me, I came home to my husband and I was like, why would I ever leave the practice of law? And I'll be dating myself, but I had what we would call a V8 moment. And that's when you go, oh, I could have had a V8, right? Like the light shone, and it was like, oh, this is an incredible opportunity. And from there, it's where I veered off my original path. From that position, which was tremendous. I became the senior legal counsel at AAA, again, using my legal skills front and center. But you know what? Sometimes things don't go the way you expect. And we went through a big merger, which would have moved me about an hour and a half away from home. And at the time, I have twins who are now 29. They were in sixth grade. So that would be too much of a commute, right? And so I had to think of something else. And that's when I went into the role of being more of an advocate in a different way. And I ran a regional chamber of commerce, and then I served in government for 4 years. And now that took me back to my role at BIA. So think of every new challenge as an opportunity to reinvent yourself, right? And never, ever, don't miss an opportunity that could be staring at you, and build relationships in ways that can actually bring you to new opportunity. That's how I'm where I am today.
That's amazing. And it honestly brings up such a good point about networking. I
Yes.
feel like personally, I never really understood the importance of networking until coming to college. And even now I'm just a freshman, but I can tell like the amount of connections I've made so far through JA and just, my school organizations and things like that. Like it's tremendous, the way you can connect with people. So I think that's a very important lesson that all young people watching should definitely take away. Network as much as you can. Of course, it's not super critical at the age of, high school, middle school, but it's definitely something to keep in mind because you really never know what could happen in the future with your connections.
No, And that's the thing, you just never know. Someone who you're sitting next to today could be the person offering you the next best opportunity 10 years from now. And to that end, never burn a bridge. Never burn a bridge, right? Your reputation stays with you your entire life and how you treat people. And you always want to be conscious of that. So yes, it all starts with a good relationship, but relationships take work and they're two-way streets. So don't go into a relationship
True.
just to get, you have to be able to give too.
True. I totally agree. So that kind of leads us into my last question here, which is what advice would you give to young people who will be embarking on their professional lives soon?
Yeah, it's like I always think back, like, what do I know now based upon my life experience that could have helped to inform me back then, right? Um, Spread your wings far. Don't, number one, don't think that you can't do whatever that big audacious thing is, okay? Because it is incredible an opportunity that can present to just one person. Again, when maybe you're not ready for it, or maybe you just don't expect it, right? But think big, think bold, don't limit yourself. And don't ever think that you're not enough or good enough for something, because if somebody's looking at you for something, clearly they know that you have the ability to bring the game. And, that brings up the distinction between your technical skills and your employability skills and your competencies. And what I mean by that is you get technical skills through your education, right? You're taught to be something in your vertical, okay? Technology, STEM, math, a doctor, a lawyer, okay? Those are vertical skills that prepare you for a vocation that requires certain types of skills in order to perform the job, right?
Right.
Equally, if not more important, is what I call the horizontal skills or your competencies. Be a team player, be good at collaboration, take your communication seriously, and be a good communicator. And that doesn't mean this, okay? It has to mean this in this environment, but it's this and it's not a text, okay? Take your communication seriously. Critical thinking, I'm going to come back to this again, right? People who are good critical thinkers and problem solvers, the employers I talk to every day, that's what they want to see in their future workforce. And they want you to be self-directed and proactive. It's really easy for parents, especially helicopter parents through their life, to make their children's lives easy. I'm a mother of twins. Okay. I know how I made their lives easy, right? I know where I enabled versus maybe empowered. There's a big difference there, right? It's really, really important that you show that you have the ability to be self-directed and not have someone constantly directing your every move.
True.
Right. And allow yourself and allow those competencies to be seen, be very visible about them, and be proud of who you are, right? Stand tall, because first impression means everything.
Absolutely. That was amazing advice. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So that was all I had for my personal questions. And students, if you have anything that you'd like to ask Ms. Akirka, please don't hesitate to reach out to JA interns. We'd be happy to connect with you and help you in any way that we can. So once again, thank you so much, Michele, for hopping on. It means so much to all of us. And I hope that you enjoyed this fireside chat.
Anytime I have the opportunity to speak with students and the next generation, especially female, I get all jazzed up. So you're incredible. You keep doing the great work you're doing. Thank you for all you're doing at JNJ, because you know what? You're paying it forward and giving it back. And that is awesome. Keep it up.